good. Hang in here. Different day, another dollar. No, I wish. Just
Yeah.
trying to get shit settled because there's gonna be a big snowstorm tomorrow. So we were just picking up our, necessities, milk, eggs, all the usual jazz, and
Yeah.
salt. Because
It's
now that I
fucking
have a house,
freezing, man.
yeah,
How's your house
it is.
today? Because mine's is fucking cold.
Well, I turned up the temp because I was freezing. Because but it wasn't so bad outside. So when it's not so bad outside, the house is okay. But when by tonight, I was like, let me raise this up so at least it's nice and toasty. And then I have the fireplace
Yeah.
running, so gotta make sure we're good. Because if not, I'm gonna be cranky as fuck.
Right, right, right. Yadi, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Guys, it's your favorite Jedi, BMF Goddess, here with my returning co-host, Yadi.
What up? What up?
Today, today's topic is an ongoing problem being faced in society currently. The racial issue with Asian Americans being blamed for the coronavirus. And I just want to say it's not to be misconstrued about my supporting Black Lives Matter. This is just an entirely different topic attributed to the same topic of racism. But, I support that equally the same. I just think that this needs to get equal light shed on it.
Yes.
Yadi, what are your thoughts on this problem going on now?
Well, it's actually pretty sad. Being true blue New Yorker, we are a melting pot. You know, um, it comes from all walks of life, and of course, during this pandemic, being that it did come from Wuhan, China, of course, once people hear China, they blame Asian Americans or Asians, and it's not a good thing to view because we can't blame the people for something that they're not, how do I say it? They didn't create this. They didn't impose this on their own people. Um, because again, it did start over there and then it came over, it hopped over the seas to come here. And this is affecting the world. This is not just affecting a group of people. This is everyone. So
Right.
to single out just one minority group, it's it's really dumbfounding to me because it's just like you just can't do that. It's they didn't create this to harm people. Again, there's still it's still in the dark. We're still in the dark with a lot of stuff that's going on with the whole COVID-19, how it came about, whose lab it was created on, and how it was released. There's a whole bunch of conspiracy theorists out there. I'm sure you could Google it, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people with a different opinion, but this is your show, and this is how it goes. We're talking about how it affects the Asian community,
Oh yeah,
and
it's good that you're bringing this up. I love it.
because because in all honesty, I know it comes from that side of the world. It did hop over the ocean to here, but it's not just us. It's not just the United
Supposedly,
States. Yeah,
because
supposedly.
honestly, to really, really track this shit down is not a simple task.
No, it could. I suggest people. There's this movie that I saw, and it had Gwyneth Paltrow and Matt Damon, and how I can't tell you how it reflects to us today. It's called Contagion, and I suggest people watch this movie. And it's so relatable to how we are right now, how we are today, with the closures, with the homeschooling, with everything. I cannot tell you how it hits home. And I actually made my husband watch it recently, and he was like, wow, you weren't kidding. I swear, what we're living in right now, it feels like a movie almost.
Right.
And
I
Same thing.
agree.
It I'm telling you, Contagion, please watch it. If you need any kind of notes, trust me and believe, I swear everything that we're living in right now can be almost pinpointed down to the rush for vaccines, the transmission, how easily it was transmitted. I can't even tell you. Like, it just hits home. And trust me, girl, you got to watch it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking
What's the
about.
name of
But
it?
Contagion.
And
It's
it's
an
on
old movie.
Netflix?
Not sure if it's on Netflix, but you could
Oh,
rent it.
it'll
It's
be on
done
the Fire
cheap.
Stick though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it might be in the Fire Stick. It's done cheap, and but I'm telling you, if you watch this movie, it just
Contagion.
yeah, Contagion, and it
I'm
really
writing it down
goes.
because you know my ass will forget.
But it do is as simple as
Cool.
it started from a bat, jumped to a pig. From the pig, it jumped to someone's kitchen. From the kitchen to shaking hands. Oh, it's just crazy. It just hits home so much that not for nothing in Asia over there, across the seas, they've dealt with a lot of other pandemics themselves, SARS and um being protective, having the face shields, washing their hands constantly. You would think everybody could wash their hands on a normal basis here, but the awareness of cleanliness, the awareness of how it used to be just a regular cold, and now it's bigger than what it is, and now we have a name for it. Now we're on a rush to get this vaccine. I'm trying to get this vaccine, and I can't get it
How
because
come?
there is none
It ran
available
out
for me.
already, right?
Yeah. So I told Chris, since he is in the military, if they offer it to him, then at least someone here in the house could be protected. Like,
Yeah.
because especially since he's out there, doing his thing and brings it home to mom. I can't. I'm the most vulnerable adult here, so it would affect me three
Yeah.
times.
Oh
So,
man.
but yeah, but the racial issue against Asians, because it started overseas to here, it's kind of insulting because what happens if something like that happens here? It originated here. Would they look at us in the same way? Oh, those stinking
Or
Americans.
how would Americans deal with that type of scrutiny? The
Exactly.
same ones bestowing it upon them.
Yeah. So how is it? I always say, just before you point out the finger, you should always put yourself in someone else's shoes. I didn't wake up saying, "Oh, damn, COVID-19, this Asians, they brought it here." Actually, no, he didn't. Like, it spread so quickly that I'm sure there's a lot of things that the government are not telling us, and I'm sure that there's a lot of things that we don't know of it was even how it even reached to us.
I'm even more certain that they don't know everything completely themselves. Chinatown and Chinese restaurants have faced vandalism and plummeting business as these headlines and bigots leapt to the conclusion that Chinese were responsible for the first outbreak linked to Wuhan wet market. And ex
Yes.
President Donald Trump constantly referred to the virus as the Chinese virus or the Wuhan virus or the Kung Flu virus. And this is first degree insulting. And it is racist to me, is racist slurs. This is like, that wasn't okay. That was not a good look. And he vowed to make China pay more than 2,000, almost 3,000 self-reported cases against Asian Americans within the past year: assault, robbery, beatings, being spat at, death threats.
Mm.
Like, when is this gone too far?
Well, that was also because it was a person in power that had the
Yeah.
podium. You understand? He was standing on his
And the
soapbox.
problem is that he's left his legacy because these people are still infected with his bullshit, and they're still doing it today. I read on Google, like, the last news about it was just a day ago. that they're still doing this. They're still going through this.
Well, yeah, well, we're not going to get into all that because that's a whole other topic altogether with our former presidents. Um, but ideally, it was
Yeah.
more you're just adding fuel to the flames of bias, and that was not cool. And it takes an ignorant mind to really believe certain things. Oh, this came from them. They're the ones who brought it to us. Actuality, no, it could have been anyone. It could have been you or me that we just so happened to be in the Wuhan market. We could just, there's so many, there's no one to, there's no patient A. There's no person that we could say, well, we got it from so and so and it gave it to so and so, and the whole trifecta effect that it happened. We're still in the dark with a lot of things. So for anyone to, and I saw the news reports and the vandalism that happened, and the Asian community, the Chinese restaurants, all these places that taken their livelihood, and because of such ignorance, instead of doing their research, they just pointed the finger. It's easy to put blame on someone. It really is. Because that's what anything, if anything, that's what they want. They want someone to blame.
Yeah. Exactly. That's,
But don't get
let
me
me play
started.
this message.
Sure.
Do I get some sort of like something cool for watching this movie, like a free title shot?
I didn't
I didn't
hear
catch
that.
that. Send that one more time, Gold. You ignorant motherfuckers. These are innocent fucking people. 9/11 made people hate Muslims forever. And now we're allowing COVID to do the same to Asian Americans, firmly based on looks at that, because targets have ranged from Chinese to Filipino, Pacific Islanders, and Japanese. Basically, anyone who these ignorant people feel uh, appeared to be Chinese.
Hmm. And that's ignorance in itself. Let me judge one person. Let me judge the whole lot of people because they kind of look alike. It's like three steps forward, two steps back. Like this is just ridiculous. I can't. It's a touchy subject for me because it's just like I can't wrap my head with such ignorance, especially when people don't take the time and look at the facts or do their reading, do their research before. Don't come at me unless you have proof. I'm 100% about that. And it's just so annoying when the ignorance is real out there
Right.
and you have, you know, biased people who say, oh, this is because of so and so, or this came over here because of so and so. That angers me to my soul. You understand? I would hate to be judged on the base of, oh, well, this Latina chick, or or this New Yorker, or the way I talk. I'm to blame for certain things. That it shouldn't be that way for anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to play that one, or shall I?
Oh, go for it.
So when I watch this movie, do I get a title shot? A title shot?
You talk. All right, let's stick to the subject, okay? he's he's talking about the Contagion movie.
Okay.
Next.
So when I watch this movie, do I get a title shot against Chris?
Okay.
You know, I don't even think coronavirus is what triggered people to be racist. I feel like these people were racist to begin with, and it might have just given them an excuse to act on it, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, for a logical person, you would see right through it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, these people, they were obviously racist from the start.
I can agree with her. That's
Yeah,
definitely plausible.
it's just using the platform. It's again that whole soapbox thing. You have something that, oh yeah,
Yeah.
people are jumping on, hey, it's coming from Asia, it's coming from China. Let's all jump on, let's just all jump on them. It's
If
easy
you're
to
still
pass it off.
listening, some Chinese girl, how has this affected you personally? If you know, or within your family, if you could share. Some initial evidence suggests the virus began in bats, which infected another animal that may have spread it to people at one Wuhan, China wet market. Such markets, they sell fresh fish, vegetables, and some also sell live animals such as chickens, that are butchered on site, like the
Yep.
ones we have over here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
The information quickly got distorted in the US, spurring racist memes on social media that portrayed Chinese people as bat eaters responsible for spreading the virus, and reviving century old tropes about Asian food being dirty, fueling the fire. Stupid ass ex-president Donald Trump repeatedly referred to the COVID 19 as the China virus. And there you go. It's all
Yeah.
based off of bullshit that
Ignorance
can't
is what it's
even.
based off of. Like I can't stress enough anyone in power to stoop down to such levels and to get less. Like I said, I could go on and on about that. But ideally, this is not. We only have so much time. But ideally, like I prefer people to get the facts prior to making judgments. And I say that with my everyday life. Like I don't just jump to some conclusion that I know everything, but I'm going to try to find out. I'll do my research and not just Google. Sometimes Google could be very biased in its own. Like they could probably give you all these
Yeah.
boards that are not official sites, or they're not official word, or we're so in the dark with this whole COVID-19, with a lot of things, where it comes from originally. Yes, it comes from Wuhan, China. How did it get? Like I said, that movie, I can't tell you how it's so relevant to today. I feel like it's a playbook. Our lives right now is a playbook to this particular movie.
Yeah. You could play a message.
Sure.
So I'm from the UK, specifically I'm from London. So London's actually quite mixed, especially where I'm from. I personally don't have a lot of white people in my life, and it's mainly them who are the racist ones here, it seems like. But I don't know, there's been a few instances last year when it first started out. I got like really weird look, because like us Chinese people, like we jumped on the masks ASAP. And so I was wearing a mask way before like all the British people were doing it. And so they were looking at me funny. A few of them tried to try say stuff to me on the train and stuff, but I'm pretty petty, so I didn't really go that far. But I know my mum for a fact. I think there was like a white girl and boy, and they must have been like young 20s, and they were waiting for my mum to walk past her just so that they could spit on her, and it was just fucking disgusting.
Oh my God, I'm
Oh
so
my
sorry to hear that.
God. That really just hurt my heart. First of all,
Yeah,
spitting at somebody is one of the lowest forms of degrading that you can do to somebody. And just
absolutely. That's
because
just
you're a fucking racist prick.
that I have no words for that. So that's not even called for. Like I said, it's ignorance is bliss for some people. It's easy to pass the buck on someone else. It's easy to put the blame on someone else. And yes, of course, like she said before, they already had that in them. It just took, like I said, some people that were in charge to open up that Pandora's box to make it okay to say whatever it is, to insult, to spit on someone. That's just gross. I'm sorry. That oh my God, I would have lost my shit. Sorry to curse, because I really try not to curse, but like that, I would have lost it.
Yeah.
And for her to speak about it and to have her composure, I applaud her all 100%, because the New Yorker in me, oh, we be fine. We will be fine.
Oh no, forget about it. I'm really, really sorry that happened. And I applaud you because you sound like a strong woman, and to go through that, you have to be. I can imagine the people who aren't as strong, what they're going through. Last spring, while grocery shopping, a Burmese immigrant and his two children were stabbed by a man who thought they were Chinese and infecting people. In July, an 89-year-old Chinese woman was slapped and set on fire in the streets of Brooklyn. Recently, a suspect arrested and charged for assaulting 3 elderly victims in Oakland's Chinatown, including a 91-year-old man who fell after being shoved from behind around the same time. An 84-year-old man from Thailand died after being violently knocked to the ground. What the past year reflects about this country is twofold: the xenophobia that underpins current American and global politics, as well as larger history of regarding Asians in the U.S. as one flattened, homogeneous group.
Wow.
They're going as far as setting people on fire and stabbing them. And let me tell you, I believe most of these people are Trump supporters, because they believe all this stupidness. And I've seen many documentaries and interviews that people have done themselves on around these politics. Trump supporters are fucking retarded. They're moronic. They're senseless. These people don't think like normal people with brains.
Well, I can't really attest to certain things like that. I happen to know several Trump supporters. I'm not gonna even go into that because politics and friendships just doesn't, for myself, I don't
Okay, so
like to mix it.
you're right about that. I'm gonna not say all of them.
Yeah,
A very
because
large
like I said,
majority of them.
the
The ones
more
that commit
ignorant
these
ones.
kind of acts anyway.
Yeah. And like I said, and I don't, like I said, there's one thing about that, but when you have someone in such high power saying those things, of course you're gonna have the simple-minded to jump on that
Yeah,
and
people are gonna
to,
think you're
it's
telling them
okay.
it's okay.
Well, yeah, the commander-in-chief of the United States is saying that certain things, and it's okay for everyone else, which is not right. It really isn't. And I'm hoping that in the next couple of years, we could look back at this and be like, when does enough is enough? There's always going to be racism. There's things you can't change there. And you know what? It goes back even before us. But the biases for this pandemic, rather than looking, how can we get rid of this? How about that? How can we stop it? Yes, so we have to wear masks. I don't care. I don't mind it. I'm not one of those Karens that are like, I can't breathe. Or I'd rather be protected than anything else. But they had it right. We learned something from them. We had it right. You know what? Mask up, put on those masks, hand sanitizer. It just makes me think like, oh my God, like how filthy they must look at us. Like, this is nothing. We've been through this. We're fighting this. We're okay now.
And you know what? China is doing great today because their people actually fucking listen. And they were back to normal like that, like nothing. Here we are, a whole fucking year and change later, and we're still fighting this shit. I'm gonna start playing these messages.
Yes.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Say what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying we've never had to deal with something like that. And that's why I say we've been lucky, I guess. Ignorant, thinking that just because we're United States that we could never experience what foreign countries go through and probably on a normal basis. Having masks to them that's a normal reoccurrence.
We just America just proved how much of a big fat vagina it is.
Pretty much.
I can say, luckily, we've been quite strict with lockdown in the UK. So, like, after it got really bad, we didn't really get to interact with anyone in public anyway. So, all the bullshit in the UK was mostly online, but I know in America you guys
like I don't
didn't
just jump
really
to some
do
conclusion
lockdown.
that I know
So-
everything.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
have it right on?
it never actually happened. Like my mum ended up detouring around a car, but they sort of like they tried it and it flopped, and that's how my mum knew that they were just standing still to try wait for her to be close enough to spit, but they ended up spitting like somewhere within her vicinity. But she ended up detouring because, you know, like my mum was really paranoid, so she was like, as soon as she sees a stranger, she'll literally cross the road. So luckily she had enough sense to like walk around the car and actually walk on the road and not walk through them on the pavement.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Wow.
Poor woman.
Well, like I said, this is not unheard of, and of course, like I'm speechless to that. To be honest, it just that's things that are happening here. You know, I know Canal Street, Chinatown down there. It's pretty real down there. Also, I haven't been back home in
There's
quite some time, but
there's something that I've always spoken about in life that is really not so difficult, that if people actually applied it to their everyday living, it will probably improve their life and interactions with others drastically. Is just putting your fucking foot in the other person's shoe. Imagining if that was you, how would you feel? If that was someone you loved, how would you feel? Would you still behave the same?
that's the unfortunate part.
If you look at the evidence, I mean, I call it the same thing. It came from China. That's where it came from. But there's a lot of folks that worked at China. Bill Gates was down there. Fauci worked down there. They just happened to be in China. But do you know what else goes on in that Wuhan lab? I bet you don't know what else goes on in that Wuhan lab.
I'm not gonna totally hate what she said, but
Mhm.
it's sliding towards ignorance because of all the, stereotypical, you don't know what they do with their food or what they're serving you. Like, shut up with that. That type of stuff I don't want to hear here. Okay? Period. And as far as it coming from China, even if it fucking did, with you people, the ignorance is still wrong. It's still
Absolutely.
wrong. China or their people didn't take the virus and fucking bring it over here intentionally.
There
The
goes the
ignorance
conspiracy theorist.
is still senseless. It's still stupid.
Absolutely.
So I'm actually quite interested. If you have friends that support Trump and along with that goes with all his loose morals, like, does that not affect the friendship? Does that mean you turn a blind eye to where they stand regarding stuff like this? Or does it mean that they are aware that not everything Trump says is like, gold?
Well, that's more to me. And that if I have friendships that are based, we have different political views. I have a lot of friends that we have different religious views, but that doesn't make me that I have to stop being their friend, because we could find a common ground if we don't agree with things politically. And my Trump supporter friends is
Yeah.
not 100% everything's gold from what this man says, because he's very pro-military, and I'm in the military life, and I'm not going to say that everything the man did was hurtful to me. But is he an ignorant man? Absolutely. But when it comes to politics with friendships, same thing goes for religion. I'm not going to open up a can of worms when it comes to religion or politics. It doesn't mix in any friendships unless you have friendships that, hey, you guys have political views the same and everything is the same. That's great. But you know what? You're always going to have friends that how do I say, we could be different and the same at the same time. And what I mean by that is I could still love you and you could love Trump. That
Yeah.
doesn't make me, that doesn't make me a Trump supporter, because I'm not. But again, you're gonna tell me that every single one of your friends are on the same page? I can't say that at all.
Yeah.
I'm
And let me
I'm
just say
intelligent.
that you can be whoever supports Trump, fine. Not everybody that supports Trump is as ignorant as he is, though.
Absolutely.
Everybody has their different reasons. I'm not putting everyone as a Trump supporter in the same bracket. So I don't want that to be confused either. I
Absolutely.
do know people, or I'm cool with people who are, and whatever. That's on you. If I hear any ignorant shit from you, then I'm not fucking with you.
Absolutely.
Fighting this.
They're not back to normal. China's not back to normal. They wear these full-on white suits from head to toe, like it's like the worst thing ever. But yet I've only got to wear a mask. Like, where's my full body protective gear? I'm not buying the okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Because I understand what they're trying to do. They're just hiding it behind this pre-pandemic. That's my opinion.
All right, all
Okay, you
right.
want to say?
So you know what? I'm gonna look that up for you. I actually just did. The latest report, as of today, China reported 7 new confirmed cases, all of which were imported from abroad, meaning motherfuckers are bringing it to China. No new deaths, 5 new suspected cases, and that's it. They still walk around with masks, but they're able to function as normal, which we are not here in New York able to do yet. And
Mhm.
all around the countries. So there's your facts for you. Like,
But the politicians aren't locked down. Nancy Pelosi went to go get her hair done when she told small businesses, beauty parlors and barbershop, they couldn't open. But she was out getting her hair did. Why is she able to get her hair did? Like, I don't understand, like, why that's okay. Andrew Cuomo, same thing, went out to dinner, didn't have a mask on, hung out with his friends, no social distancing, that was okay. Now you got the governor of California, same scenario. Nothing. I don't understand why it's okay for them not to follow the rules and we have to follow the rules that they put in place. That doesn't seem fair to me, nor does it make a lot of sense. Sound like a bunch of BS to me.
and this is why we have the problem that we have. It's because the people in power are showing everybody else that they don't care. So why the fuck should we? And I totally understand that. Totally understand it.
I
Not
get
to
it.
mention that the virus is very, very, very intelligent. It knows not to bother anybody who participates in riots. Didn't bother anybody at a Black Lives Matter rally. Didn't bother anybody when they were out there trying to drum up people to vote for the Democrat Biden. Didn't bother any of those folks. And I was out on the streets in New York City and people didn't have on masks and they were not social distancing. And there was a lot of folks outside. They was trying to get them to register to vote. COVID wasn't there then. Nobody even cared about it. It seems to me that they only care about it when it's convenient for them. I don't understand something. I sure don't.
You are making a lot of sense. I totally get that too. As far as the virus actually being real, I know that firsthand because I know people who've died from it. I know people who've suffered from it. As far as the numbers, I can't verify that, and neither can anyone but the people actually responsible for that. Others.
What I also don't understand is, so is it true that every time somebody takes a test, it counts as a case? Because then that's some funny numbers. I know that my girlfriend is suing because the hospital labeled her aunt's death, who died of diabetes, and they never gave her a COVID test, as a COVID death. on a death certificate. Why would they do that? Like, why have they been instructed to make, I don't know, special circumstances with regards to this case and how they authorize or how they categorize deaths? That sounds weird to me.
And I believe you. I've heard of other cases that have done the same. Why they're falsifying numbers? They could be a thousand reasons.
Hmm.
We could argue this we could debate this topic all day. We don't really know. We don't. All we know is that this is the sure way to be safe. Because really damned if you do. The only damn if you do is being uncomfortable, being outside, being safe. But damn if you don't is there are people who have actually died from the disease. And
Yeah.
we can't get life back the way we know it unless we follow protocol. Because
Nope, not sliding toward ignorance, because I actually watch Chinese television. I watch the Chinese news channel, NTD to be exact, and I follow the Epoch Times. And they're not saying the same things that the entertainment television fake news is saying over here. I don't understand why there's a difference in news and why one is so far stretched out from the rest of everybody else.
oh, because they're out there, the ones that try to manipulate you. There's a lot of fake news out there. That's for sure. But
Absolutely.
I wasn't calling you ignorant. I said sliding towards ignorance because I know over here in New York, there's a lot of stereotypical shit talk about what Chinese people do with their food or what they're serving you, and that's just ignorant stuff. I mean, I'm sure maybe it's happened, whatever. But the thing here is that you cannot classify a whole group of people off of the actions of just one, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, what if someone in the white community, um, what if somebody in the white community did something really fucked up? Is that one white person supposed to represent all white people? So I means all white people did what they did, or should be responsible for what they did?
Yeah, because isn't that the topic itself that we're talking
You could
about?
put
Like,
any color on it.
yeah.
It's still the
Uh-huh.
same story.
Absolutely. But that's what we're talking about here. It's like we're not we're not pointing the finger how COVID happened, why it got here, how it got here. I know I'm protected. I got my mask. I have my my hand sanitizers. Whatever I have to do, I'll do it. Because you know what? This girl cannot afford. I want to live a full life. I'm sorry. Whatever the hype of the media is giving you or whatever it is,
Thank you, Pa.
I know what I have to
You
do
took
for
yours out?
myself and my family.
I'm hungry.
But again, unless we have the full story, which let's face it, I don't make that full story money. We're never gonna know. So what do you do? But what we're talking about is what the topic is at hand, the COVID Asian racial issue. Why are they being to blame? Yes, it came from that area of the world, but why are they to blame?
Over here.
They're outside protesting all over the place in China. And I didn't say, how do you know? How do you know that they didn't? People seem to forget that there are businesses, corporations. I call them corporations because you work there till you die, who are in business to make money. Like I heard 77 laboratories in New Jersey were being sued by the NFL because the tests were giving out false positives. Who benefits from people getting a positive test? I'm not understanding a lot of stuff that's going on. And I know I don't get my information from the mainstream media because I know they lie.
And you make valid points.
Hmm?
I don't think the media or the government is innocent by any means. I just know that before the mask even came into the picture, when it started happening, and it came out, and they were telling people to wash their hands or stay 6 feet apart, and people weren't listening. And then people I know close to me like were actually getting sick with the disease and struggling for their lives. And you just see it in another. When you look at it that way, it's like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's how I look at it. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other shit going on behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the government. All has to do with money.
Oh, of course. You don't think the COVID-19 people, those the race to get the vaccine, you don't think that they're benefiting from that? Absolutely. It's a pharmaceutical company. Regardless, it's still at the end of the day, they're going to their pockets are going to be lined. Absolutely, because of this. But this girl's going to mask up. This girl's going to use her hand sanitizer. This girl's going to take her 6 feet apart seriously. I do that for my mother. I do that for my kids. You know what? I don't care if it's a media hype. Prove me wrong. But you know what? I have way too many people that I've known that have passed away because of this virus. And I know some people who actually,
Right.
you know what? They had it and they're good now. They they had to be quarantined. They had to it's from the description I got, it sucks. It's not an asthma attack. It's not. And trust me, a person who suffers from asthma, a person who is a vulnerable adult that could easily contract this, it scares me. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm watching the media."
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not ignorant like that. But what I'm saying is, shit. If there's something to it. If over there in China they're already, no, I'm not gonna say they're back to normal, because I don't think anyone's really gonna go back to a normal 100%.
I couldn't
But
imagine. Yeah.
I have to, for myself, for my peace of mind, I have children in the house. I have a son that's older and lives in New York, living with his grandparents. We all take this seriously. This is not a joke. This is not, and he has to go to work just like everyone else. Everyone has to, but yeah, the unemployment rates have raised. Goddess, it's
Right.
hurt a lot of people in so many, not only this,
Everything negative has gone up in numbers.
but the whole thing is, we're not arguing the whole COVID-19, whatever, but we're just saying the whole Asian racial issue, how it's affected them. It's affected everyone. Don't get me wrong. But the topic at hand is in regards to the Asian racial issue itself. How, yes, like you said, the vandalism across the country. People don't want to order from Chinese food anymore. Like, this hurts their pockets too. There's people that come here for that American dream, that, a business itself. And everyone
Yeah.
took a toll and a hit from that. If you don't think I wanted to go out to a normal business, I wanted to go out to eat, I wanted to business as usual and do my thing. No, because a lot of these places were still closed.
Right. Exactly.
But it's just, we're talking about the ignorance of it all, as far as blaming that one community. And how, yes, because it came from China. So let's just put the blame on China and everyone that's associated with that.
Let me play some of these.
It's not a
Left wing, right wing, all the same bird to me. I don't support anybody. I support myself. Left wing, right wing, all the same bird. But I can look at stuff that don't make sense to me and see that somebody lying. I can see that. Plus, I've been in the industry and I know how they work and I know how they operate. And I know the thought process, and I know this is just a business. And I know they have a plan to depopulate the planet. It's called Agenda 21. And guess who's all over that job? It would be Bill Gates. And guess who's involved with the vaccine? Bill Gates. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. It's not a coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences, especially when it comes to Bill Gates, who stepped down from a Microsoft company to buy a vaccination company. That isn't fuck shit. Sorry, it is.
She's going full conspiracy, and many are. You're not alone on this. Me, not so much.
So he figured out a way not only to profit from viruses on an operating system, but now to profit off viruses from people. That's gangster. That's so gangster. And to make sure that it worked, I guess he bought all this farmland. I don't know. The stuff I researched say completely different with what they were planning on doing to people. Plant-based packages they're going to deliver to people. Plant-based packages. Makes a whole lot of sense as to why he would buy all this farmland.
What I don't get is that why coronavirus? If they want to, kill a bunch of people, they could just do what they did in 9/11 and blow up buildings or some shit. I just don't know why start a coronavirus. The government, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Because really, what is freedom of speech? What we really don't have the same rights that were written into the Constitution in the first place.
No, like me and my friends, we all have different, like from different backgrounds, different religions, different cultures and stuff. But I was just quite interested to see if, because obviously Trump is racist, and I don't think I could be friends with someone who supports racism. But given what you're saying, fair enough. Like, I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know Yadi, and she wouldn't be cool with no one racist for anybody.
No, absolutely not.
People,
Evil comes in all different shapes, sizes, colors, sexes, and political parties. That's why we're at this point, because it had to take evil people from both sides, or whatever side of the aisle you're on. There are evil people that exist in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And no, I don't believe the things they tell me on the television, because I know that they have, money makes people do some strange things, and their morals go out the window.
you're right.
Absolutely.
You're right about that. And you shouldn't believe everything. Sometimes not even everything you see with your own eyes.
Yeah, she's right.
And I just want to say to Delicious, if you're still listening, like, so what if it came from China? And so what if it came from a lab? Like, what does that mean? Why you gotta, like, dehumanize a whole nation of people because of that? Like, that don't even make sense. There's so much... Oh, do you know what? It's gonna get petty from here. Like, let me just leave it there.
Exactly. What she just said. What I said earlier. How do you fit a whole group of people, a whole race, into into a rumor, or let's say what they think happened? Because, like I said, that kind of thing is so hard to pinpoint. I don't believe they actually know for sure. What do you think, Yadi?
I don't think there's enough evidence. Yeah, it came from over there, but they're like, again, we're trying to stick to the same topic. It's like we're blaming a group of people for the spread. No, the spread came from a bunch of people, I'm sure. Like, we can't single out. What we're trying to say is why we're singling out one community. It's just wrong. We can't just single out one community for what one person did if they messed up, or if they dropped the ball, or whatever the case is. They dropped the vial. I don't know. I don't get paid that big bucks. I'm not in the government. Don't claim to know the ins and outs. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't follow these conspiracy theorists. Everyone has an opinion like an asshole, but there's one thing that we're trying to bring light to, is that the racial issue itself against Asian Americans, because yes, so they rooting it back to Wuhan, China, but that doesn't mean that the whole group of Chinese people or Asian Americans or Asians in the whole are to blame. You can't do that. That's an ignorant statement in itself, and that's what we're trying to bring light to, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But let
Yeah,
me
let
play
me
this.
play these. Let me play.
Or
Yeah, go
you,
play them
you go
back to
ahead.
back. Go ahead, girl.
All right.
This is
Why would China be upfront and honest? This is a communist country. They don't care about us. Why would I believe it? I don't believe what they're reporting. They've already said that they were lying about their numbers. But because what I see on the television, I see how they're dressed. I see how they have communities blocked off where the people are not allowed to go outside of the gates or where the police have blocked off. They can't even go outside of their homes. In fact, they have a whole neighborhood blocked off. You can look this up on the NTD News. The whole neighborhood is blocked off, and one person is allowed to come outside the house every 2 days for an hour a day. That's crazy.
else that
No, the people in power are lying, and they're anticipating on people, the rest of the world, not investigating the stuff that they keep putting on the television. Because if you want to talk about numbers, more people died from suicide than they did from this bullshit. Really, they did. Look it up.
you can look it up, but who can really verify it? Again, nor you, nor I, nor fuck these stats. Who really knows? Being that we know that it's been tampered with, who really knows?
Exactly.
Where are the funerals? Where are the funerals and where are the overcrowded hospitals? I have friends who work in hospitals and I live near funeral homes. Where are all the funeral services? Where's all the hearses driving around the dead bodies? How come cemeteries aren't overcrowded and packed? I don't know. Sounds real fishy to me. Fishy when you, especially when you got Bill Gates doing documentaries about how to depopulate the planet, especially when you got Bill Gates doing documentaries on how the, because they want you to get back to the, it's never going away. It's never going to go away because they want to put the chip inside you.
All right, you're going full conspiracy. These aren't facts. These are conspiracy theories. I don't want people to get confused and be like, "Oh, wish, oh my God," and this that. These are conspiracy theories.
Yep.
They're not actual facts. You could keep
Okay. Okay.
playing them. Go ahead. What they did.
To maintain world order, you have to keep the population under 500 million. Somebody clearly lost count. There's 8 billion people on the planet. And how do you think they're going to get rid of all those people? What mechanisms do you believe they're going to use?
Goddess, you want to say something about that?
Oh, nothing. That was the last message.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
Okay. I don't know, cause I went to try to exit. Oh, I appreciate your participation 100%. I always love to have a good debate going, but this conspiracy facts. I mean conspiracy theories because they're not facts. You know, if people want to look it up on their own and do their own research, but those are not actual facts. We don't know this. There's a lot of different things people are saying, and it's a spiral into a dimension of a whole bunch of shit. So if you want to do
Yeah.
the conspiracy thing, you guys on your own time. Here I'm just speaking about the racism problem and how it's affecting these innocent people, and how you ignorant assholes out there needs to stop your bullshit. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Spreading that awareness.
But stop attacking. It's just one of those things that it, there's never going to be something that we're gonna have a quick fix. This is not something that we're not, like I said, we're not here to debate um all those issues that you brought up. As far as the funeral homes, I know their business was hurt too. Big time. There's a lot of things they couldn't do. I
Yeah,
know
and
some,
the whole funeral home thing was banned a long time ago because of
absolutely.
COVID. So
And
they're not having services. What they doing with the bodies? They're going in the ground somewhere.
well,
How
from the last
many? We
time,
don't know.
wasn't there a spot on Roosevelt Island, a mass grave that was done, and for a lot of people during this pandemic down over there. Um,
Yeah.
Again, we're not going to be here to debate that fact, or I'm not with the conspiracies. I like hard facts, and nothing that I've heard so far are hard facts. That's above my pay grade. I know that's above your pay
Yeah.
grade. You know what I mean? Like that's but we're just trying to bring awareness that you know what, it's not right to you. It's not right to single out a, a community that they're the ones to blame. I'm not with that. And that's what pretty much what awareness that we were trying to bring here is that it's not okay. And this is across the world. It's not just happening here, it's all over. And yes, if it came from that side of the world, it's God knows. We don't know. We don't have the facts. And I haven't heard anything that was factual. There was nothing that was stated that was okay, this is what it is.
Yeah. Everything she said is circumstantial.
Absolutely.
We don't
And
know. She
she can
doesn't
have her
know. I mean,
opinion.
she's
Yep,
doing her own research, which is good. Don't believe
absolutely. That's
everything you
right.
hear in the media, but
Absolutely.
you just don't really know. You know something's up,
Yeah,
but
of course.
again, I say, wouldn't you rather be safe than sorry? And I'm sorry for those who are even immune. If I was immune, I haven't gotten sick at all, which is even weirder because normally I would have already got sick by now, but I haven't gotten sick. I tested, negative.
That's me
And
too. Twice.
if I was immune, I would still worry. I would still be safe because if I was to go see my friend Yadi and I unknowingly had it and was to pass it to her and find out I had it and gave it to her, and I couldn't even fathom something happening to her because of me. And yeah, it wouldn't have been maliciously. Again, here's a scenario that is pretty much the same as how you're treating the Asian people and how you're treating them. Because if that scenario played out that way, I didn't know. I didn't say, here, Yadi, take the virus. But if something was to happen to her because I wasn't safe, I couldn't live with myself. How
Absolutely.
could you live with yourself not being safe? And you could give it even to people you don't know, but people that are susceptible to die from this. How could you live knowing that and not want to protect yourself and others? I don't know what kind of person does that.
Yeah.
Because by saying, oh, this shit is fake, or I don't gotta wear no mask, you're saying fuck other people's lives. And I've seen people like that until it hit home for them. And most of those people it hit real hard because it took them or somebody real close to them. I'm just saying, is it worth fighting them on it? Knowing that it actually is real. No, we don't know the numbers. No, we don't know what other lies are covering. But we know that if we're safe, is is the only defense we can have from it to continue spreading. Period.
Listen, all the you might not say, oh, they fudged the numbers, but I don't give a shit what the numbers are. But what I saw and what I have nurse friends, what they told me, what they've had to endure, the
There
exhausting
you go.
hours, I cannot not take this seriously. I don't care if it's oh no, it's not real, or this is, fudge, the numbers are fudge. You know what? You can fudge numbers all you want, but for me, One too many that I've seen. That's pretty much where it comes down to it. One too many numbers that I've seen in my own life. For me, that's way too much. But for me, what this topic is that, it's the racial issue and how it's against Asian Americans or Asians as a whole, not just Americans, just Asians as a whole. This is where we're saying it's wrong. Just like how you would, any other race. You can't. It's not
But
their fault.
it's okay that you're talking about, the staying safe issue as well, because that's another thing that relates. That's really important.
We take it for
That's
granted
really
our
fucking
safety.
us up. And a lot of people let their guards down. Just any little bit is like, they give us an inch and you fucking take the whole arm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say that the person didn't have points. She had some valid points, but there's also
Yeah.
I'm not going to live my life unprotected. I'm sorry. I am one of those respectable adults. I could easily die from this. So should I take it not serious? It's a very serious thing. But at the topic at hand, I'm not going to blame my Asian friends for this. They didn't bring this to me.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. And yes, somewhere that gets paid a whole lot more than me, whether Bill Gates or not, obviously knows something that I'm never going to know. And you know what? Could die tomorrow still saying that I don't know, but I got it.
Yeah.
I just hope that everyone stays safe. Continue washing their hands, which is you think it would be obvious. Continue with your mask. If you feel uncomfortable doing that, then don't go out.
Exactly. Stay your ass home.
Don't go out. But you know what? As far as I'm concerned, and my family, we're going to follow the rules so that I could still go to ShopRite and Stop and Shop or wherever it is I have to go and be unbothered. Because you know what? You can't go into Walmart anymore without a mask on, right? Or anywhere at
No.
this point.
Most businesses, right? And here in New York, indoor dining just opened up. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, good to know because I've been looking to visit New
Yeah.
York.
We'll see if we headed in the right direction this time around. But yeah, I just seen it on the news the other day.
That's good. It's a step in the right direction. And that's like I said, I know we go off topic with certain things, but it's just we're bringing awareness to this and
Yeah.
how it's affecting that community. And what we're saying it's wrong, just like any other community, we would say, any other race, we would say it's wrong, right? That's
Exactly. It doesn't matter the color.
No,
It's the treatment because of your color.
And that's what we're saying. We're not going into the whole Trump. Girl, me and you could talk for hours. We already know. But at this point in time, this is what we're talking about and how it affects that particular community. Like the girl said that, if it wasn't her mom walking the other direction, she probably would have been spat on. Like, come on, that's just, we're in 2021 and things like that still, or them getting blamed for their corona.
And I don't got hate. I don't have hate. I don't hate Trump. I don't know the guy personally.
Yeah.
I strongly dislike his views and
Absolutely.
ignorance and the
Absolutely.
actions that he, is followed by that ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it is. Like, I'm not a hater and I don't attack the Republicans or Trump party because of, it's just this racial shit. It just needs to stop, man.
No, that's the thing though. It's a cyclical argument because at the end of the day, if they don't believe in it, then that's their reality. So they also, it's not that they don't care about fucking up other people's lives. It's the fact that they genuinely believe down to their bone that they're not fucking up people's lives because like that's their reality. Like as fucked up it is as it is, it's a cyclical argument because they just don't believe it.
You're right. And you know what? Upon looking up my research for today's podcast, I learned something myself, and it's the fact that Asian Americans have the lowest rate of mental health seeking that providers should be mindful of, because in other words, all type of mental health disorders, ranging from anxiety to bipolar disorder, Asians have always been ranked the least to seek this help. Like they haven't had these type of problems as much as everyone else. And these numbers have seriously gone up over the past year because of this racism that they're facing now. They are starting to develop serious mental disorders such as anxiety and depression. And that is fucked up.
Mhm.
Come on. Not only are you doing this to them, but it is really affecting their lives. And anyone with these disorders knows that it can seriously affect your life.
Mhm. Absolutely.
That's so sad.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I almost forgot to share this. I experienced it firsthand as a witness. I was doing laundry, and I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I live in a very, I guess you would say, prestigious, very bougie, rich area, right?
Mhm.
And I've been around here long enough to see that a lot of people who live around here feel very self-entitled. And I'm not racist whatsoever. This not even a fabric of my being is, but I have experienced racism as well living over here.
Mhm.
And it has been predominantly by the Caucasian people. So I'm doing my laundry the other day. I go to the laundry room. There's an old Asian woman. She's folding her clothes on the table. And this Caucasian woman walks in. And I'm taking my clothes out the dryer. So they're behind me and I'm just hearing this. The Caucasian woman walks in and she tells this lady who's minding her business folding her clothes, "Oh, why are you folding your Chinese clothes here? You know what's going around. You shouldn't be spreading your germs on this table." And I am the BMF goddess. I'm known for being a bad motherfucker. I stand if especially grinds my gears when someone comes at someone so innocent, someone so timid, someone would not retaliate or try to be confrontational.
Mm.
And I just went off. I turned around and I said, "Listen, you stupid." And I went off at my mouth crazy, but it's like, how dare you? This is somebody's grandmother, someone's mother you're speaking to like a piece of trash. And I can't tell you how much I hurt for that lady. How dare you people treat other people like this? I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. And it should never, ever be accepted. I know what it feels like. It's happened to me. And I'm Spanish. I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. And I've been called a spick. And I've faced this racial shit. And no matter who you are, it feels terrible. And it's something that you carry with you, and it will always be in the bottom of your sleeve. People really need to stop, because you don't know what you're causing, especially for the children who don't understand what's going on. I apologize, but this
Mhm.
is just really, it really hits home
It
for
hits
me.
home.
I am a very, I'm a person who's very empathetic, and I have a lot of empathy for people, especially those who haven't found a voice, or can't use their own voice and just go through stuff because other people feel it's okay for them to do it.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna leave it there. I want to thank everybody for joining. I appreciate the debate and you sharing. Some Chinese girl, thank you. It was nice meeting you. I added you as a friend. You can hit me on Instagram if you want. It's on my profile, but it's BMF underscore goddess. Yadi as well. If you wanna, or you could follow Yadi, 'cause she's a returning co-host of mine. Thank you for being here, Yadi. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me. Yeah, I appreciate you
And
too.
you guys all have a good night. May the force be with you.
Tonight, a woman is recovering after being assaulted outside of Queen's Bakery, and police are investigating this as possibly the latest in a string of recent hate crimes.
CBS News' Corey James has more out what the community is doing to fight back.
Other than disgust, my first gut reaction was just disappointment. Eric Z is outraged after another attack on yet another Asian American in New York City.
She hit her head on the pole and knocked out.
Video posted to social media by the victim's daughter shows a 52-year-old woman being pushed to the ground on Roosevelt Avenue in Flushing, Queens, Tuesday.
She went to the hospital and got 5 to 10 stitches.
How is this still going on?
It's super disturbing and honestly disgusting.
CBS 2 has learned from NYPD officials that in 2019 there were only 3 anti-Asian hate crimes, while last year there were 29, 24 of those motivated by COVID-19. Stan Mark, senior attorney for the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund, believes there are more because many victims do not report them.
They don't think anything's going to be done about it. And then second, if they're limited English proficient.
While law enforcement is encouraging people to report hate crimes, this 28-year-old who owns a Taiwanese restaurant in the East Village is also trying to help curb the rise in crimes. He and 25 other businesses launched an initiative called Enough is Enough last Sunday. They were donating food to local organizations to bring awareness to attacks happening to Asian Americans.
We want food to be the language of our life. And with the funds that we've accumulated, with any excess, we're going to be donating to charities that kind of carry on this mission beyond what we're doing. Love always wins, no matter what. And that's our message.